So growing up, I always had an obsession. My obsession was so big that I always wondered, why are some people so much more successful than others? Take an example of a man in his late 40s. He could be working in a corporate job, for more than 30 years and doesn't really like it. And he could also be divorced. As compared to another man who could be in his early 30s and has achieved more than a man could achieve, and also has a family to go back to that love him very much. You see, I always question, what was it that makes a man a successful person? Is it because of luck? Is it because he needs to be born in a very rich family? Or maybe have the resources around him so that he could thrive and be successful? Maybe. I want to share with you guys a quick story of an idol of mine. Do you guys know who this man is? Yeah. This is my idol. I respect him a lot because look at him. He has the looks, he has the body, he has the cars, he has almost what every single man wants. But did you know that he was actually born in an extremely poor family in a village in Madeira, Portugal, where education was so limited, and he actually had to work to help finance his family at the age of 7. Yet, this man today can be one of the most successful footballers of all time, and probably the most well-known man in the whole universe. So my question is, what was it that he did right? To see his success, it definitely tells me one thing. It says that maybe it's not the external factors that determines a man's success, but it is the internal factors that determines a man's success or failure. And so I want to share with you guys a short story about me. You see, I'm very privileged. I was born in a very big family. That's not my family, by the way. But I was born in a very big family, and I was very privileged to have a very good relationship with two very special uncles of mine. So I want to share a little bit about my two uncles. Both of these uncles are born in also a poverty, where money was very limited, education wasn't very well, but both of them grew up fine, but very different. So I'm going to share with you guys my relationship with them. The first uncle, I'm going to call him Uncle A. So Uncle A is a much more, I would call him, average person. He works in the same job for over 30 years, and he's a very simple man. He enjoys a beer every day. I call him semi-alcoholic because he doesn't drink too much, but he enjoys his life. He's a very chill guy and very, very simple man, and apparently he's single. So my conversation would be very simple with this man. Every time I see him, he will ask me, how many girlfriends do you have right now? How many girls are you dating? You're so good looking, you confirm get all this. And I'll be like, oh, uncle, stop. So our conversation would be so simple. We always talk about a very surface talk. Our conversation is nothing more than just, have you eaten? Have you done your laundry? Something like that, very simple talk. And so that was my relationship with my uncle. I enjoy his presence, but I really would want to compare with another uncle, which is like this. I call this Uncle B. Now, Uncle B is a much more successful man. That's not him, by the way. He owns multiple businesses. He's a very happy guy. He travels a lot. He goes to countries for holidays, and he has achieved so much success and respect around us. The difference about the conversation with this uncle is that he always encourages me to do more. Whenever I would fail, I would give him a call, and he would always pick me back up with very simple words. So of course, I do look up to my uncle a lot. I want to be as successful as him. I wanted to thrive just like him. And so one day, I decided to just call him. And I called him and I said, Uncle, tell me your secret. I want to know how to be successful just like you. I want to be having the lifestyle just like you. I want to travel the world just like you. How? How did you do it? And so he laughed and he told me, I'm going to make this very simple for you. I'll tell you 2 things and 2 things only, and you will remember this for the rest of your life. And that is how you're going to be successful. He said, first, you always have a choice. You always have a choice to give up or to keep going. You always have a choice to remain the same or to change and to keep growing. Second thing he said is you always have time. But that doesn't mean you use your time recklessly. That doesn't mean you go and party. You use your time wisely. Use your time and invest in things that matter. Things that matter to you and things that challenges you. Whatever it is, use your time wisely, because once you use those time, you will never get it back. But on a final note, I advise you that whatever choice that you make and however that you spend your time, do whatever that is hard so that everything else will become easier. In another word, he said, use your time wisely and always make the harder choice if possible. And so I did. I listened, I used his principles, I used his belief, and today, standing here in front of you guys, I used to be a very nervous boy. I used to be a very shy person. I was always mocked at, disrespected, but I always wanted to succeed. Standing here today, I'm currently 23 years old. I used to look like that to looking like this 10 years later. And I've been training very consistently in the gym for 10 years. Never in my wildest imagination I would be able to share a story to you guys today. I also was featured in 2 Men's Health magazine. One was in Malaysia when I was 18. Another was when I was 22, and that was in Singapore. And to me, these are my achievements. I currently have up to about 300,000 people following me on my social media platforms, which I use to promote information that would help people, whether it is through fitness or whether it is just through motivation. My goal is to inspire people, and that is what I do on a daily basis. I also have clients that I've worked with, and I've helped this person build up about 4 kilos in 8 weeks. I helped a mother lost about 5 kilos in 8 weeks, and I helped this man lose about 10 kilos in 8 weeks. And of course, I've achieved these successes that you guys see today. But the reason I was able to achieve successes like this was because I made the right choice consistently, even if it was a hard choice. I also invested a lot of my time into what I love to do. That I was so lucky and so privileged that I was able to turn what I love to do into something that I'm able to do for a living. But that is just the good part. These are all the sides that we see, the successes. If we were to look back 5 years ago, I can share with you guys, I was in a crossroad of whether to give up my dream, whether to give up this moment of whatever that I want to do, throw it away in the drain because I wasn't having enough money, I wasn't making enough money, and my family was against me, and I had a choice to give it up. But if I did give up, I wouldn't be able to share this story with you guys today. I wouldn't be able to share this belief with you guys today. So my advice is, in whatever that you choose to do, in whatever that you are in, whatever aspect that you want to grow, know that adversity will always be there. And when you are put in tough times, challenging times, remember that you always have a choice. You always have a choice to give up or to keep going. But whatever that choice may be, I hope you choose a harder choice that would help you maintain and grow yourself, Because when you do that, I can promise you that the time that you invested in might turn into something amazing. And so as Uncle B said, you always have a choice and you always have time. So don't rush time. Use your time wisely. Thank you.